This is episode 58 of the Homeowner Show. Whether you're DIY or looking to hire, we're here to bring you the best options and information for you and your home. I'm Craig Williams, and Kevin ain't here because he's sitting at home. I don't know what he's doing. He's probably listening to some other podcast tonight. But tonight, it's just me in the studio, but I have some tremendous guests that I'm going to bring on here in just a second. But if you guys have not yet, you're probably listening to this show because you've already experienced the amazing content that the Homeowner Show is bringing you. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button because you're just going to download the next one anyway. And you can go follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And as always, we're at Twitter, but we're probably just not going to, engage you over there because we're not hanging out on Twitter. But we're there. If you just want to, send us something over there, we'll look at it, but we're probably just not going to respond. Facebook and Instagram are a much better bet. You can find us on YouTube, so hit all the notification bells or, that goofy app that Kevin's using. You can click on the donkey. I don't know what it is. But anyway, tonight, this is the long anticipated, particularly here in Texas, the long anticipated air conditioning episode. We've got affordable air repair in the house with Jehu and Jojo. How you guys doing?
Doing wonderful, my man. Glad to be here. Thank you for having us. It's a pleasure to be here and help you guys out, So this is my wife, Jojo. She's helping me in the office and everything that we can do to provide Conroe, Montgomery, Spring, the greater Houston area, affordable air conditioning, and really help and go above and beyond for the clients out there.
Yeah. And so by helping you in the office, you mean in charge?
She's the boss.
Okay.
Pretty much.
All right. Awesome.
So I still have the boss that I answer to. We've been running this show for 2 years now. So, I still have that one that I answer to every day on a day-to-day basis.
He likes it. It's okay.
It's consistent.
Yes.
It is.
Yeah.
Consistency is key.
Life and business,
right.
they're just merged right together there for you.
Yep.
Yeah. So how long you guys been at this now?
2 years. So we started this, I was in full-time operation, and then I was also working 40 hours for another company trying to grow as much as we could and, really just...
Well, so you were doing AC work for your business, but you were also working for somebody else at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That's like 80, 90 hours a week.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The moment he'd get off work, he'd go to work.
Yeah.
Yep. So, you'd run 4 or 5 calls a day and, come home and have those 2 or 3 at night that you're having to take up and pick up in the subdivision or in the area and, really just trying to help people out.
Yeah.
And, busy is everything for sure. It's hot here in Texas. Everybody needs air conditioning. And, how far you can stretch yourself is really the name of the game.
Yeah. So how long did it take you to eventually make the leap to,
Full time?
Yeah.
So now is our second year. So our second year, the January 1st will be our the first quarter of our third year. And then I would say we were in business for about 1.5 years, working for another client, a commercial company, so a larger company, just learning, gaining wealth and knowledge as we went. And really, we got pushed out of the nest and told that it was time to go out on our own. And so here we are.
Thank God we did, though. Honestly.
It's been fruitful for sure. Taking care of people has always been my motto in anything that I do. And you always get taken care of when you take care of people.
Yeah. And I know for our show, we have a lot of people who are homeowners, but we also have a lot of guys who are business owners that listen to this show. And for those guys, like what for you was one of the more difficult hurdles to get over to, start your own business, to get out on your own?
Yeah. So walking away from the guaranteed money of working for somebody else, having the Monday through Friday job, the 8 to 4, or whatever you want to call it, it's scary. It's a scary transition. She came from bartending and that was kind of a what if paycheck. And now she's a teacher. So she kind of feels that comfortable paycheck that's there. And, it's always scary, and it's like taking a step of faith. You got to walk on water, like, it says in the Bible, and just trust that at the end of the day, you're going to be taken care of if you do what's right. And that's what we live by.
Yeah.
I mean, every day we're wondering, hey, is the week going to fill up? Is things going to happen like that? And, for instance, today we had a slower week at the start. Today's only Monday. Slower week at the start on our books. And then, Monday came and we filled up our whole week like that. So, I mean, it's things like that happen that keep you, hoping and praying and keep you humble. Really.
Yeah. Was that one of the scarier things for you?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But it was like, it's the risk you got to take. You know what I mean? You got to risk it for the biscuit. That's how I felt about it. I knew we were going to make it because even with my paycheck still, like, if you project what you want, you'll get it.
Yeah.
It's a sense of how bad you want it and what you're willing to do. And since he does such good things and he helps the community, I knew it'd come back our way.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's full circle.
Yeah, and actually, that's one of the big reasons we wanted to have you guys in the studio. I mean, we actually connected over Facebook.
Sure.
And a lot of mutual friends that we kept seeing kept referring you. So much so that we actually had you come over and do a project for us.
Absolutely.
We'll get into that here in a minute.
Absolutely. It's a good project.
Yeah, and so, but I mean, like, has that been... I mean, from the outside looking in, from my perspective, it's like, oh my goodness, like, affordable air repair is just absolutely beloved in the community. I mean, has that been a fruitful source of business for you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Facebook.
100%.
Yeah.
And I tell my clients this a lot. We as a company growing, we try to utilize where we spend our money correctly.
Right.
So advertisement is always something that people look to put money into.
Sure.
And we try to figure out the ways to be the most cost effective with that. So we have been very successful with Facebook and trying to advertise and market on those avenues and things like that. And, for the most part, we don't have the marketing dollars that are put in place. A lot of it's word of mouth, and that's where our biggest attribute to our marketing is word of mouth.
Is our clients.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We're forever grateful. Because it's so hard to take a chance on somebody that maybe you don't know professionally, or, you'd rather go with, oh, well, everyone goes to Walmart. Why don't I just go there kind of thing?
Right.
So it was a leap of faith for us, but also for them. So
trust
we're just
is everything.
grateful, that we're at this point. We want to go further,
Absolutely. Well, I mean, like, and you guys are obviously in a great market.
Sure.
I mean, it gets ridiculously hot.
Absolutely.
Crazy hot in Texas.
Every building has an air conditioning.
Yeah. And when it goes down, I mean, people revert back real quick, right?
Gosh,
I mean, I imagine you've experienced that. Like, people, like, you've never even met them. They might get angry just because it's like, and it's not, they're not mad at you. They're just like acting primally because they're uncomfortable.
Right.
And that's something we deal with a lot. You have every type of people or persons in this world that, you never know what you're going to run into, for sure. And having parts on hand on the truck, that way we don't have to go out and get repair or parts at a supply house and things like that. I mean, we can't stock it all, obviously, but
Right.
We're going to have the majority of the stuff out there that continues to break down, and it speeds up our process. So it keeps our clients happier because we don't have to wait. They don't have to wait in order for us to come back and make that repair. So it saves trip charges. It saves days. It saves people missing work. A lot of things get played into that for sure.
And if he doesn't, we've brought like portable air conditioners to people's houses to make sure at least they're cooling for at least one night until we can get everything ready to go for the next day.
So having portable air conditioning in Texas is important as an air conditioning company, because there are those special times where you can't make that repair that same day, and giving somebody that option. I mean, we have home air conditioning portable units, larger commercial units. Those are something that we're still trying to get funds for, because larger commercial units, they cost a little bit of money. So
I would imagine they cost a bunch of money.
So having that option, that's something that we will get to in the future, but we always want to be able to give our clients the best,
Sure.
whatever that may be. We go above and beyond in anything we do. And I feel like that's what you should offer to every client every time.
Yeah.
And a lot of people in Texas don't get that anymore.
Right.
I've come from a lot of bigger companies, that high, well-known companies. And, you learn, or in my terminology, you eat the meat, spit out the bones. You figure out the good things about the company that you want to pursue in your company, and the bad things you obviously learn from them. You learn how to implement changes in order to not make those things happen, and then you try to be the best company you can be. It's a growing thing for sure. No company's perfect, no matter who you are. That's for sure.
Now, do you guys tend to, and you may not do one or the other, but do you focus more on residential or commercial, or how do you guys go about that?
We do a little bit of both. So I mean, in the commercial aspect, we can do it all. We can pull resources together to make any project happen. So I don't want to say that I'm not capable of doing it. It's just a matter of getting the right minds together to make the project happen.
Yeah.
Right.
But when it comes to commercial, we do a lot of maintenance and service for the commercial realm, and then a lot of maintenance and service and installation for the residential side. That's kind of where our bread and butter is right now.
Okay.
When we grow this thing and we get a little bit more techs and more trucks on the road, the right people, we're obviously going to look at doing things a little differently, with the commercial side, and hopefully that will bring some more installs and things of that nature. But, residential, that's our bread and butter. That's what I've done for 13 years nearly. So, I mean, you kind of go with your gut and you know what to do.
Yeah. So, what should people be looking for? I mean, because not everybody, can, at least not yet, hire affordable air repair, because not all of our listeners live in Houston or even Texas.
Absolutely.
What should people be on the lookout for when they're trying to hire an air conditioning company? And what are like some of the key signals that like this is a good company? Good
question. So license, number one. I mean, here in Texas, and I don't know how other states are. I've only lived in Tennessee and Texas. But, it requires a license to do my type of work.
What's the license here?
It's a Texas.
It's TACLA.
TACLA. So it's Texas Air Conditioning Refrigeration License.
Okay.
So it's basically a company or a accredited place out there that you have to go take tests. You have to get these books and study. And once you pass the test, there's hoops that you have to jump through for sure.
Yeah.
So once all of those hoops are jumped through and, you get your card and you get your license number, and that's advertised on your trucks and things like that, and you see the documentation of this company's legit. They're giving me their information. It's not just a title head of a business name and some chicken scratch on the side. They will give me formal quotes printed out or emailed or stuff like that. And always having the visualization, because a lot of companies out there, they'll try to have the good look, and things like that. But Facebook reviews, all of your reviews on your social media platforms and things like that, that's key. Calling them up, seeing how they respond on messages and phone calls and things like that. I mean, I think that would be important too. What are your thoughts, babe?
Right. And make sure they have a logo on their truck. They're familiar with the codes and everything. And there's a website, it's texastdlr.gov, that you can look up any license in the state of Texas.
Yeah.
Totally like cosmetology, plumbing, any license.
Okay.
So you can look it up through there as well. You just type in the technician's name or whoever the company name
would
that should
probably
work
populate
too.
a little faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I imagine that's done through like the Secretary of State. And I imagine that's most states.
Maybe.
I mean, because that's where you have to register your business usually.
Right.
Yes.
Yep. So, I mean, registering your business, you got business insurance. So, I mean, that's something that you need to absolutely offer your clients as well, because accidents happen out there. We're all human beings, and, the worst case scenario could happen one day, you know, and you want to make sure that your homeowner, number one, is protected, but not to mention your business is protected.
Absolutely.
So having all of those things implemented and, you know, being able to offer your clients discounts if they're military members, nurses, teachers, you know, first responders, you know, that's a good thing to help out in the community, you know, and we're big on helping out the community.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was a couple episodes ago, and I may be getting this wrong, but I was talking to somebody recently where they were telling me they were doing some background checks on a company they were looking at hiring, and so they went to the state registry to look them up, and come to find out they weren't an actual business.
Oh, wow.
And so like just that little step that like most people don't take saved him from getting involved with a business that, you know, may have not treated him right or
legitimate.
been able to do the job right or all that kind of stuff. Or, you know, and because if you're not, at minimum, if you're not incorporated, you're probably not insured potentially. I mean, like there's ways to do some of that, but like, you know, like you say, do your diligence on this stuff.
Absolutely.
You know, and
I think
I think a lot of people feel guilty about calling up companies and like questioning them.
Yeah.
You know, not like accusatorily, but like, you know,
honestly,
you shouldn't. You shouldn't be scared to ask that information.
Yeah.
That information.
Especially if someone's coming into your house and your home, like.
Yeah. I mean, that information should be publicized, you know, because it's code and code books for that information to be public information.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, with that, homework is key, no doubt. Seeing and sometimes you don't catch it until they're in your house and you see the work that's being done. And, you know, you can kind of second guess yourself and be like, man, are they really the type of people that I should have hired, you know, off of the work that's being produced, you know, because that happens a lot, you know, and air conditioning in general, it's hot here in Texas. It's hotter in the attics whenever the work's getting done.
Yeah.
So certain steps have to be taken in order to make sure that job's getting done correctly. And your guys, number one, aren't killing themselves.
Yeah.
Because that can happen. Heat stress and heat stroke is a very serious thing here.
Yeah.
We've had to deal with that with him. Bless his heart.
And she was telling tales on you last time we talked.
I mean,
well, it was these two. It was this old couple in our neighborhood, and they were so sweet, but their house was like above 80 degrees or something.
It was hot in there.
And he just told me, he was like, "Well, I just couldn't quit." Throws up again. I'm like, no, babe, please. Like, I know you care, but like, I care about you too. Like, I want you to be okay. We end up at the hospital, sure enough. I mean, it's sweet because like he really truly cares. Like, that's not a.
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
Sure.
You can't leave people in situations without air conditioning.
But bring Gatorade or water. Just let's be safe too.
But no, I mean, like, you know, just spending time with you guys so far. I mean, like, I mean, just the service aspect is like, I'd rather me feel that way than they feel that way.
Yep.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah, that's
that's where that's coming from for sure. But man, I could not be up in the attic that long. I do a little bit of work up in the attic, but I get out of there as quick as I can.
It's tough. It's tough. I mean, and I have like cooling vests that pump water through the vest and stuff, because keeping your core temperature is important. I mean, that's where all of your vital organs are. So if that gets hot first, then you're done.
You're toast.
Right.
Yeah,
you're done.
Yeah, Kevin was actually telling me he had a solar fan installed in his attic.
Yep.
That really significantly dropped the temperature and decreased his the amount of power he was using to cool the home, but like also kept the attic at a lot lower temperature. Have you run across that?
Oh yeah, so we actually can install attic fans as well. We have contacts with roofers, great roofing contacts that can ensure that once the fan's in, the roof is sealed up and it's not going to have a leak or anything like that once we come back. And we can do solar or we can do the wired in ones. So as long as anybody wants that done, we do blown in insulation, install air conditioners, mini splits, air conditioners, commercial air conditioners, and pretty much anything in that realm. Custom houses, that's something that there's a big need out there for. People have these custom outlooks that they want in their house, and it takes a certain design to make that happen, a certain engineering mind to see that project through.
Yeah.
So that's something we specialize in. You know, we have a lot of people that we can pull in together to utilize Mitsubishi equipment, or, you know, ducting, specialized ducting can be installed in houses and things like that to really increase the airflow and increase the comfortability in your house.
Yeah. For sure. I mean, I'm glad you mentioned that, because it's something I try and ask all my AC friends is like, what is your genuine opinion on the mini splits? Because I know with, you know, the tiny home movements going on, I'm like, this is what they're putting in these things.
Absolutely.
You know, what are your thoughts on them?
I think it's the way the world is going to, you know, because they make some that you can say you have 4 rooms in your house and you have this air conditioner that's utilizing 4 different fan coil boxes inside with 1 outdoor unit, and you can heat and cool each room simultaneously.
Right.
So it's a very neat thing. A lot of technology out there, a lot of high tech, you know, schooling and training that has to be done in order to be able to install these systems correctly, not to mention service them.
Yeah.
And, you know, I love them. I mean, they're great systems. They come with great warranties, you know, from reputable manufacturers. And, you know, you really can't beat them because they can utilize areas that, you know, you wouldn't normally be able to put an air conditioner.
Like the one we're sitting in right now.
Yeah.
I mean, we're receiving the benefits of it right now.
Absolutely. Cool and comfortable in here and no ductwork.
Yeah.
I mean, it's huge things.
So, and this was a weird room to cool.
Yeah.
I mean, just because of the angles of the ceiling and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I was lucky to get hooked up.
No doubt.
So
it's a great thing. You know, air conditioning, I couldn't Lewis Carrier or whatever his first name is. Don't get me lying to you. He's a great man for inventing air conditioning.
Oh yeah.
Day.
Absolutely. Especially
I couldn't
here.
live without it.
No.
What was, I mean, and you may not know, but like for some reason I seem to remember it was invented for something specific.
It was something about that had to do with newspaper ink.
Was that what it was?
I'll have to look it up.
You're gonna-
Don't give me lying to you
she
either.
found
I'm going to Google it right now.
I mean, don't hold us to this, guys.
Right.
But, you know, she found something on it one time. And, you know, I don't know. You know, I remember back
We weren't
talking
there,
to my
but,
great grandma and great grandpa and stuff, and them saying that they used to use a block of ice and a fan to cool with. And I mean, that was something back in the day.
Oh yeah.
But it's crazy to think where the world's came since then.
Oh yeah.
It's really is.
I mean, I still see some people innovating a little bit with it. I mean, the people using misters
Yep.
to cool off outdoor spaces.
Yep.
And I mean, it works.
It
Yeah.
does.
Absolutely.
I actually know that's what they do at Disney to actually keep the parks cool. They have like a sophisticated misting system
They had
throughout.
that in Mexico.
Yep.
Oh, did they?
Correct.
Yep. It's cool. I mean, any way you can bring down that
Literally.
temperature, you're working wonderful.
I'm a happy girl.
No doubt.
Did you find it?
Yes,
Yeah,
actually, it was. It was about controlling the humidity in a printing plant.
Oh, okay.
It was, yeah. Boom.
Yeah, there you
Nice. Was it like newspapers or was it like books or does it say?
I'm sure I could find out,
Ah,
but
that's just interesting to me.
Well,
Like, it wasn't for people.
go. Carrier worked
Sure.
in that newspaper plant, apparently, from what it said, and he
Oh, okay.
invented that air conditioning to reduce the amount of moisture in the air because they were printing paper.
Oh, and it allowed the ink to dry quicker. I
reckon.
guess. Yeah. Because it was pulling the humidity out.
Yep.
So,
It's crazy, man. I mean, it's a science,
Yeah.
for sure. It's not something that can just be thrown in, and unfortunately, it happens a lot here in Texas.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
which and the client has to pay for it in the end.
Oh, don't I know
the
that?
sad part.
Oh man. Well, and that's something that you told me repeatedly is like this is a science,
Absolutely.
and that
Yes.
it's not a cooling system.
Right.
No.
And what you told me it was what?
We remove heat.
Yeah.
We don't create cooling. So that's something that's a lot of people don't understand, that they're like, yeah, the vents are blowing cold, it's working. Well, yeah, it's blowing cold, but we're also removing the heat in the house.
Mm-hmm.
So a big misconception, a lot of people will close their doors in their bedrooms and stuff like that, and they'll be like, it's hot in this bedroom.
Yeah.
Well, it is, because the return may not be in that bedroom, and it's not bringing that air
Able to
back
pull the
through the
heat.
system. So Airflow is a science, refrigerant's a science. I mean, you have to understand air conditioning to truly be able to give your clients the benefit that air conditioning was invented for.
Yeah.
It's not just buy an air conditioner, buy the ductwork, put flex runs here and here, and hope for the best.
Right.
And a lot of people out there do that.
Sure. I mean, if they're doing it, they're DIYing it.
Right.
That's kind of what you're describing.
Sure. I mean, or finding somebody that's put them in before and, it's, our cheap bids. We fight it all the time. Cheap bids. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure you find it in pest control. I'm sure you see it in other areas of your life. But, I've had to learn a lot from life in general and cheap bids and paying for what I get. And, I refuse to have this company give an image that you're not going to get what you pay for. If I have to go above and beyond and make sure that happens, which we're in business to make money. Obviously we're going to try to do the best to make that happen too, but we're not going to get greedy, and
sure.
We've seen a lot of those companies. I've worked for a lot of those companies that they grow really quick and they, their morals and their ethics go out the window with it. Yeah.
And you may have had the same experience with me. Anytime you watch a company that's growing really fast, I mean, from my experience, it's been because they're looking to sell it.
Yeah. And that's possible too.
And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I mean,
no.
Good for you if you can sell a company for a profit and that's what you're in the business to do, but it doesn't really serve the customer.
That's correct.
Potentially.
Because what happens when that new owner doesn't have the same ethics and morals that the previous owner
or standards.
Or standards.
And quality of work.
Yeah.
Because then, and it happens. Turnover in this industry for employees and employers is very high. It always has been in air conditioning. But trying to find that right person, it's key. That's where we're at. We need to find the right people to bring into this avenue to truly give the benefit that everybody out there deserves.
Yeah.
We can teach people, we can help people learn this industry. I've came from the bottom. I started out installing air conditioners, sweeping the floor in the shop at the company my dad worked at, and moved into service, moved into sales, kind of did the commercial aspect and, running my own show now. It's, I've seen nearly every side of this industry and I'm still growing every day. I'm still learning. Not to say that I know it all, but, I have enough knowledge and skills that could be passed on to people who are truly wanting to learn and truly wanting to come up in this industry. And those are the people that I want
you hear
on
that,
my
people?
Team. Yes.
I'm looking at you right now. The ones who want to make the change, come on with it.
I mean, we could always use good people.
Yeah.
The world could use more good people.
Right.
Absolutely.
So
more good tradespeople.
We need a lot of those.
Absolutely. I think it's a dying art. Well, the DIY is coming back, but I'm talking like truly dedicated to your craft.
Yeah.
Like Jehu is, that
for sure.
We need more of that.
Absolutely.
That's been our kind of hold up on him getting an employee and everything because he's top notch in his work. So he expects that if you're going to carry our name.
Right. Yeah.
No doubt.
So it's trying to find that person to kind of like hold the torch,
Yeah.
Maybe someone we can train or.
It's one of the hardest things to bring on people and get them to operate at the level that, as you as the owner operator have been doing.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like letting other people take care of your children.
Correct.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Correct.
It's hard.
They have control over your clients if they're in their houses and stuff. And you want to make sure that you have the right people in that piece, in that puzzle. So relinquishing control, it's difficult. For sure. You want to mentor and you want to nurse this thing that you're growing and try to make sure that it's protected and, it's safe and things like that. But your arms can only be stretched so far.
Yeah.
And eventually you're going to have the trust to put into other people to help you grow more.
Yeah. Hiring employees is really hard. One of the other hardest things to do when you own a home is to get a new roof or to bid out solar.
Yes.
And DroneQuote is the company that can bring these numbers to you, that can bring these companies to you, and actually get you 3 separate bids for each of these things for your home, and it doesn't even require an appointment. What they do is you send them the numbers, you send them, copies of the bill, you send them a picture of your electrical panel, and then they figure out what you need, and then they send a drone out to do a survey of the property, and they get you the quotes from 3 companies in your area that are local, like Affordable Air Repair, except for roofs and solar, to get these systems installed in your house. And let me tell you guys something. One of the most difficult things to do is to have appointments with salespeople. It's the worst.
Gotta love it.
Because most of the time they understand that you don't want to meet until you get off of work.
Right.
And so you're having appointments between 5 and 8 in the evening to make decisions about a $30,000 roof or a $60,000 solar system or a $20,000 roof. And these are big financial decisions. And so DroneQuote wants to come in and be that gentle intermediary that does the work for you, makes the meetings with these salespeople. They're actually not meeting with salespeople. They're just going directly to the company and getting the prices for you. And then you can make a decision without ever having to talk to a salesperson.
It's beautiful.
It's a beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful thing.
And you get to see a drone.
Yeah.
So
it is. You get to see that cool drone. You get some cool photos of your house too. Yeah.
Awesome. Can't beat that.
Yeah. So if you guys need that, if listeners of the Homeowner Show need that, you can go follow the link in the show notes, or you can sign up for the email, and that comes out in their email every week. So, what is, in y'all's opinion, the most common breakdown in the air conditioning system for the homeowner?
Ooh, that's a good question. I mean, you have different parts that you try to teach your customers about. That way they can be aware of problems that could happen down the road.
Right.
So, such as capacitors. Capacitors are like a built-in battery backup or built-in battery for your motors. Mm-hmm. So your compressor is a motor, your fan motor that spins on top is called your condensing fan motor. You have a blower motor inside, and all of those motors take an initial jolt of energy to start them, which is where it comes from, that capacitor.
It's almost like a starter for the...
Correct. Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
Okay.
And once
I know them things, just enough to get into trouble.
Once they get weak, I mean, obviously it's not going to start. So, whether that leaves you without cooling or heating or both, or, things like that, that's a very common repair out there, is a capacitor change out.
And usually when that happens, you'll almost kind of hear like a humming noise.
You can,
right?
Absolutely. Yeah? That's your motor trying to run, but it's not, which is in theory damaging that motor because it's getting hot. It's sending current through it and not spinning. So yes, that's why we always tell our customers, if your air conditioner isn't working properly, if it's not blowing cold air and you notice a problem, turn your system to off and your fan on. And if you can hear your indoor blower motor running, then that's a good sign.
Okay.
But what that's going to do, if the system's froze up, that will give it enough time to unthaw until somebody can get there to look at it. They don't have to spend extra time on site waiting for a system to unthaw.
Right. So like I have a bad capacitor. Mm-hmm. Is there something I could have done to prevent that capacitor going bad? Or is that just like, look, things just break down over time?
That is a little bit of both. Okay. So we have maintenance plans that we offer to people locally in our area, and we travel kind of wherever, but depending upon where the area is, there may be a trip fee or a trip charge. But maintenance is key, maintenance on anything. You get your truck or car maintenance, you get your oil changed, you get your filters changed, your tires get changed.
Yeah.
So eventually, things inside your air conditioner are going to need to be either inspected and looked at, and, instruments hooked up to it to test them to make sure that they are okay, or, change them out. Capacitors are, I tell my clients, they're a consumable. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot like a battery. They will need to be changed out periodically.
Yeah.
But if they're failing quickly, then we know that there's a bigger problem out there. We know that we need to find that root problem in order to ensure that these capacitors aren't going to be keep needing to be changed out.
Yeah.
Because nobody wants to spend money on air conditioning. Let's just be honest. It's out of sight, out of mind. But I mean, when it's down, that's usually when your rush is in, and then that's when people feel obligated to have to spend that money.
Yeah.
we want to make it as painstaking as possible. We try to educate our clients into what you're spending your money on, why it broke, what we could do to prevent this from happening in the future and you having to spend this money again.
Yeah.
You may have to get some accessories and some things to make that happen, but it's protection. You're protecting your car from things happening down the road by getting better filters or better tires or using the better oil and things like that. So why wouldn't you do that for an air conditioning system that costs almost as much as vehicles nowadays?
Sometimes a little bit more.
And if you're a service club member for us, you get like priority scheduling, you get discounts on repairs. Absolutely. We hook you up. Yeah. Take good care of you.
And so this episode's going to be up forever, so no one's going to hold this to you guys right now. But like, what is your service club like? What does that cost?
So annually, for one system for the seasons here in Texas, we technically say we have 2 seasons,
okay.
Winter and summer.
Hot, cold.
Okay.
So $50 per season per system, or $100 annually for one system, or $200 for 2 systems. So,
okay.
It kind of goes from there. We do some discounts if you have multiple, like 5
commercial
plus
clients.
7 systems.
Right. Yeah.
And we definitely do some good maintenance for our commercial clients.
Well, there's plenty of residential homes around here that have 4 and 5 systems.
Well, I was going to say we had a big custom home that had quite a few systems.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, we do anything to make ourselves stand out and be a little bit different from the current competition that's out there. So.
And so aside from like the scheduling and and some of the discounts, what else do you get with that?
Okay, so you get energy efficiency. So a clean unit is a healthy unit, is a unit that's going to run smoother, better, use less power, things like that. So we water wash outdoor coils, make sure that the grass clippings and stuff, whenever your yard people or you come and clean your yard and, all of that stuff that can get sucked up into the unit, we want to make sure that that's freed up and clean.
Okay.
So you get an inspection report of your full write-up of your system. So amperages, pressures, temperatures, the works get written up on this, and we look at cleanliness. Cleanliness is always on our mind when it comes to air conditioning. If the unit's dirty, we give you a write-up of repairs. And then with that, you get a 15% discount on price guide repairs, which we have a level 1 through 7 price guide repair that, you have straight pricing and discounted pricing for all of our club memberships.
Okay.
So huge benefit there for you, having a professional come out to your house twice a year, check the things, that could cause potential problems and, it cost you a lot of money in the long run, trying to save you money and keep things running smoothly and efficiently.
Preventative maintenance.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, everyone hates it.
Yep.
Until they have a problem that could have been prevented.
Spend a little bit now so you don't have to spend a lot later.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
It's tough. I mean, everybody wants to know where to spend their money the right way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure. I do. It's hard for me to spend my money on things that I can't see something coming back to me or me getting my money's worth. And that's everyone. Everyone wants to feel like they got what they paid for.
Yeah.
Why shouldn't they get that? And that's what we live by. We will, if the leaf clippings inside of your condensing unit are thrown out, we don't want them to get sucked right back up into the unit. So we'll bag them up and to put them in your trash can, and make sure that they are away from your air conditioning unit. So just little ways to go above and beyond, finding things that could be potentially dangerous.
Yeah, for sure. And it helps keeps our clients' loyalty, which helps keeps us going. It's just the circle of life,
Yeah.
We give back, we get back. It's all good.
Awesome.
It helps.
Yeah. So another one that I've run across a few times at friends' homes, and I think I've had it at mine, is when you get ice outside on the unit.
Yep.
What's going on there?
So a couple things can cause a unit to freeze up. You have lack of airflow. You have dirty filters in your house, which filters, depending upon what the quality of your house is. If you have animals, obviously they're going to bring and produce a lot more hair.
Right.
Change your filter.
Change your filter. Monthly is key.
You're listening to this.
To something.
You've probably forgotten.
Yeah.
Change your filter.
So change your filter. You want to make sure that your blower motor is working correctly and that's spinning and forcing air, because that will cause your system to freeze up as well.
So where's the blower motor?
That's in the attic.
In the attic, okay.
Yeah, so typically in the attic or sometimes a mechanical closet. It's going to be your indoor unit. If you have a unit that's separated indoor and outdoor.
Right.
They make all types of air conditioners, so your blower could be outside. It could be a self-contained unit outside as well. So, your blower motor in general, the airflow has to be moving in order for refrigerant to not freeze. So that's number 2. You check those things, make sure that those are working. And then if those are correct, then you move out to the next step, which is your refrigerant. So you hook up your gauges and you make sure your pressures look okay with it running. And if you're in freezing temperature, which Fahrenheit 32 degrees, anything below that freezes. Same thing with refrigerant. So certain steps like that can cause a unit to freeze up. Dirty is one thing. So that's why we always look for that cleanliness, like I was touching on before.
Yeah. And refrigerant is something, I think a lot of people go, like nowadays, if you're kind of a DIYer, you're going to go to YouTube.
Sure.
And they're going to, be telling you, hook up these gauges. You can put this refrigerant in here. Should people really be messing with refrigerant?
Absolutely not. Yeah. So you have to have certifications to handle refrigerant. So different types of certifications from the EPA. That's the people who monitor and regulate our atmosphere, if you want to call it that.
Sure.
But,
they're
environmental protection agency.
Yeah, environmental protective agency. So
love and
that's a test as well.
Yeah, so, it's the EPA. I mean, like for guys like us, like we love and hate them at the same time.
Yep.
Sure.
Because love-hate relationship.
Yeah.
And everything you have to use.
I mean, it's tough because you have to be certified to handle different types of things. I mean, and if you're not, there's big penalties that can come into play for that, and if you're not handling those correctly, not to mention just being able to handle them.
Right.
That's, it's big time penalties for sure, and nobody wants that. Nobody can afford that.
Well, and it's because you could potentially be creating an unsafe environment for you and the people who live in your home.
Absolutely.
Isn't there something getting phased out in 2020?
So yes, EPA has talked, and there's always been rumor spread of the old refrigerant, the R22.
I was going to say, okay, yeah.
So I don't have the notes or anything on that. She may be trying to find it online, but until that comes, there is word out there that R22 is going to be phased out come January 1st of 2020. So whether that happens, it's kind of in there at this point to me. I haven't heard from like my parts houses and things.
Yeah,
you're right. It's January 2020.
So
what
when that point comes, you won't be able to add refrigerant to those units anymore, because more than likely they have a known leak, and the Environmental Protective Agency doesn't want more gas being dispersed into the atmosphere from a known leak.
Destroying the ozone layer.
So, that's one thing, and they'll probably force their hand on trying to get people to change their units to the new stuff.
Yeah.
Which is what I foresee happening out there.
What's the new stuff?
R410A.
R410A, okay.
So it's technically cleaner for the environment and things of that nature from what the EPA says, but this isn't the first time that they've changed refrigerant. Uh-huh. So if you look at automobiles, they changed automobile refrigerant, and things like that. So don't be surprised if this is not the last change in refrigerant. So, I mean, as the world grows, we all learn better practices, better techniques, better things that need to be implemented. And, we all have to learn from mistakes too.
Well, and so if I understand what you're saying, people who have systems that operate on R22 are not going to be able to use the new refrigerant in their old system.
That is correct. R22 and R410A refrigerants do not mix.
Yeah. So you're going to have to buy a whole new...
It's, yes, technically you would have to buy the air conditioning side of your system. That would be the outdoor unit and the indoor coil, whether that's, whether you're utilizing electric heat or gas heat, that you can build different packages for
right.
So yes, in theory, I mean, you're going to be required to step up and get the new unit. I mean, at that point, I would think they would have no other way to do that.
Yeah. I don't know what refrigerant my system uses. You may know, but
410A.
Does it?
Oh, good.
Yes. Well, let's just say in theory it was, the older one, and I have a gas furnace. Mm-hmm. So I would just have to replace the outdoor unit
and the indoor coil. Unless, so certain coils, they have stickers on them and they'll say that they can utilize R410A or R22, and things like that. You have to clean the coil if you're going to utilize 410A with a 22 coil. So you have to make sure all the oils are out. And then the metering device or the expansion valve or piston, whatever you want to have installed there, has to be R410A capable.
Okay.
So that's what meters that flow of refrigerant inside. So yes, your outdoor unit, your indoor coil, and the metering device have to be 410A in order to use it, and then cleaned.
Awesome. Well, so are there any other refrigerants that they're using in, systems like what we use in the home? Or
in the home, typically you have some conversions from R22. I mean, they're not the best conversions out there. And like, say, if you have a leak, you're going to leak out some. They're a blend, so they're a blend of like 4 different refrigerants. Some will leak out at different boiling points, and then you'll have to take it all out and put everything new back in.
Yeah.
So it's not the best thing to do out there. Of course, they're going to sell it to you because they want to make their money as well.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
But
corners.
Utilizing the brand specific is always important to us. Getting parts from the manufacturer, not off-brand parts and things like that. Using parts that are made in America, that's important to me. So, having things like that just to ensure that you're getting what you want.
Yeah. And is there, I mean, other than just being patriotic, is there a reason you like using American parts?
I mean, patriotism, I guess, is one big thing for me. Knowing that, like China, for instance, there's a lot of stuff that's made in China, and you hear the tale that it's cheap Chinese junk and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you get that, and you always want to hope that America makes things better, stronger, faster, whatever you want to call it. But I don't know. I guess it's keeping things here local as well too. Because there's been a lot of manufacturing plants that have been moved over to Mexico.
Sure.
I mean, and that's a big thing. So keeping jobs local.
We like people having jobs.
Yeah.
Right. And we're a local business too. So it kind of we want to put out into the universe what we receive.
Sure.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of always been our brand, our thing.
Yep. I mean, if we could find people that was making it in Texas, we would do that as well. That's why we use Goodman equipment. Mm-hmm. Goodman equipment is made here in Houston.
I'm glad you said that. I was fixing to ask, what's your favorite?
Yep. Goodman equipment. I mean, it's our brand that we've chose to install in homes. I mean, all air conditioners are technically the same. They all have the same internal components.
Sure.
The first and very most important day of that system's life is the first day it's installed. And then after that, has it's maintained. You know what I mean? Who's maintaining it? Who's taking these steps? But no, I mean, your warranty's key with equipment. What warranties you have from the manufacturer with your parts, and what warranty you have with the contractor for your labor.
Yeah.
So those are big things with us. Our new systems come with 10-year parts warranty, 5-year labor warranty. And then we can also step up and give your system clean coil guarantees with adding some accessories. So those are always things that we tell our clients about because it's huge benefits to you. It's free money that you can register. I mean, we register all of our equipment for our homeowners. It's a thing that a lot of contractors out there, air conditioning contractors in general, do not do.
Just leave to the homeowner.
They leave it to the homeowner, and then the homeowner typically doesn't understand it. They'll forget about it. They'll think, what's their importance of that to me?
That would have been me if I was not with him. Absolutely. So I personally can appreciate that. And that helps. He'll come to me and speak on does this help this? Because I'm the quote unquote common folk, because sometimes when he speaks, God bless him, I don't know what half he's saying. I love him, but it's a true science, and for as long as he's been doing it, it can be a little hard to follow because he's so I
think everybody knows what I'm talking about. I don't know. I mean, I have to definitely simplify things sometimes
right.
too.
Yeah.
But,
But he does that for our clients too. And that's big for me as well, because I would want to know, like, I just want that peace of mind that it's not some Joe Schmo coming in. Oh, look at this person. She doesn't know what she's talking about. So let me just go ahead and charge her this, charge her that, tell her this is wrong, everything like that. He does the total opposite. He'll tell you what's wrong. He'll give you options to fix it. And like, if this is what you have, we can work with your budget on this. And he can, like, even if you want to go up there with him, he'll show you things. It's cool. I'll give you the true
very hands-on
School of Hard Knocks a little bit.
I think probably just about everybody's had the experience of going to like a big box store and buying something from someone who has told them, oh, well, this has a 2-year warranty.
Correct.
If you register it and go through the rigmarole.
Correct.
Yeah. And but they end up just sending you home with that paperwork that you just stick in a drawer and do nothing with.
Anything with.
Yeah. And so you're actually like saying, like, look, I'm going to advocate for you I'm just going to take care of this for you.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
So a big thing, with air conditioning warranties in general. Okay. Say a contractor installs an air conditioner in this location. If they don't register the equipment, it comes with a standard 5-year warranty. If they register the equipment, you have a 10-year warranty.
Yeah.
So it's a whole nother 5 years that you get for parts if they break.
Yeah.
It's like,
It
takes 10 minutes. I mean, it takes 10 minutes to register that warranty.
Yeah. And so like what's like the most expensive part that would be covered on there? So people would have an idea of what kind of money they're potentially saving.
So compressors, coil changeouts and things of that nature, depending upon, manufacturers, obviously, but compressor changeouts could be over thousands of dollars. I mean, you're depending upon what ton it is, you could be looking at $1,000 to $2,000 or sometimes more.
And that's just for the part.
That's just part and possible installation too. There's variables that play into it. Is the refrigerant clean? Can we utilize the same refrigerant? Things of that nature.
Yeah.
But typically, when a compressor fails, you always swap out and get new refrigerant. You clean the system up. You put new filter dryers in and just make sure that it's as clean as possible, because you're spending a lot of money on a repair. You want to make sure it lasts.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Awesome. So before we get into talking about my weird house, which I definitely want the audience to have a chance to hear about what you had to deal with up there. What's and so if it's me, that's fine. But what has been one of the more odd situations that you've run into that you've been able to help out with?
Sure. So I mean, your house is a good instance for sure.
That's encouraging to hear.
We had custom home build clients that reach out to us, and there's certain jobs that some people don't feel comfortable doing as air conditioning contractors, and I understand it. There's certain steps that have to be implemented in order to do things correctly.
Right.
So, but custom homes where spray foam, for instance, I mean, those are big jobs that a lot of people scurry from. But we like to give people resolve. We like to give people ideas. We like to come up with a plan of action so you can move forward with your life. And I'll tell you straight up, my company is affordable air repair. For the quality and the service that you get with my company, it's affordable in regards to, these other companies that are out there that are offering you and telling you that this is what they are giving you. And, we're not the cheap company out there. Affordable is not cheap.
Right.
So, but giving you that peace of mind, our logo and our slogan says it all: service done right so you can sleep at night. You want to make sure at the end of the day, you lay your head down on your pillow, that you've been taken care of. You don't have buyer's remorse. You don't have that gut feeling that, oh man, did I get screwed over? I mean, for real. I mean, we try to give honesty. Honesty is everything to us. So, I kind of forget what we were touching on there.
No, what's one of the more weird or awkward situations?
Weird, awkward situations.
When you had to take a boat to get to a house.
Yeah. I mean, we've done those.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, was that here or?
Yeah. So, I mean, you have houseboats.
Up in Trinity?
Yep. So, and when the floods happen and things of that nature, so we have this gentleman that has houses on stilts, and, it rains a lot and Trinity River floods a lot. So we go out on boat sometimes to go service his unit.
Yep.
I mean, you do what you have to do for your clients, no doubt. But weird projects, I mean, shoot, man. Yours is a doozy for sure. I mean, we had to put a lot of thought, a lot of time into coming up with a design that, both of us could live with. In other words, it's your home, obviously.
This.
Yeah.
But making sure things got done right without compromising the integrity of the duct design.
Yeah.
That was very, very important.
Well, let's just go ahead and get into it then, because
do it.
Well, because one of the things that continues to come up on our show is my house ends up being thrown up as like this token beacon example of weirdness.
Yes,
where there's
goals. I love it.
So it's definitely an unusual house.
Yeah, and so I'm glad that we have somebody that's actually like come in and done some work on it, so you can you can testify.
Yes,
that I'm not just like blowing smoke at people.
Testify, Ben.
Yeah.
I mean, without, touching too much on, who put the system in and things like that.
Which we don't even know.
We have no idea.
So we can't even,
put a definitive answer on
right.
it. No. So, I mean, with that,
can besmirch them if we wanted to.
There was some huge no-nos that took place in that house. Anytime you look at cutting joists to run ductwork through, it's always something that you want to be afraid of. You know what I mean? Because
avoid doing.
Some of them are structural, some of them aren't, and you always have the things that you can rebrace and stuff like that. But, coming up with a design to beat the joists and to get past the joists, that's just, it's an engineering type thing. So, with how your house was ran before, it was definitely interesting. For sure it was.
I mean, it took us several weeks to kind of like come to a consensus on like what needed.
Coming up with multiple options, for a house such as yours is difficult, especially because certain things you can't do.
Yeah.
Certain houses require certain steps to be done in order for you to get your end result. So, yes, your house was very unusual in the realm of how they ran the ductwork trying to get up to the upstairs.
Yeah.
And if you do look on your Facebook page or my Facebook page, it's one of our jobs that we've took a lot of pride in, showing off and things like that, because not a lot of people in our area perform and do duct installations such as that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you have duct calculators. I don't even know if most air conditioning contractors know what a duct calculator is, but it's how you size ductwork in order to make sure that the air at the end of the run is going to get the required amount of air that it needs before it gets to that system.
Yeah.
So that knowledge, that skill, and coming up with a design, that you as the homeowner can live with, that's very, very important.
Yeah.
And like the budget they can live with. And
like you've experienced, it's not easy.
No.
It's not something that happens overnight. It's something that takes, sleeping on sometimes and talking it over with your wife or your, better half, and, having to live with some things that you didn't think you would have to before.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. No, this was definitely an aspect of like the whole project that we were not anticipating.
Sure.
So,
nor was I.
Yeah.
nor was I. I mean, once we gave the initial bid, like we talked about before.
Yeah.
And, I was assuming that was everything, but like I said, I need to see what's going on above the ceiling in this master bedroom area to see what they did. Because it's hard to see behind sheetrock.
Yeah.
Period. You can't do it. I mean, and in order to make that design happen, you have to poke holes in floors and spot where things are going and measure and
do your homework.
A lot of homework, a lot of design, a lot of calculation.
Yeah. So it was a huge undertaking on your part.
Sure.
So we ended up having to make some tough decisions as well.
Sure.
So, again, decisions, we ended up having to, we ended up having to build a whole other wall just to accommodate what had to be done.
Yeah.
And we have another wall to build.
Yeah.
Because of it, but now it's right.
Correct.
And not like running rampant through voids in the wall.
Yeah, so to speak on right and wrong, to touch on, because not a lot of people know what we're talking about with his house. They haven't been in it to see the pictures.
Right.
The pictures may not do them any justice. But anytime you're running cold supply air or cold air that, comes off of your evaporator coil, it's usually about 52 to 56 degrees, depending upon the indoor temperature of the house. Mm-hmm. When you have that in spaces that are not insulated and it gets hot, that's going to condensate, just like you setting a glass of iced tea outside.
Right.
And what happens when condensation's in cold, dark, damp environments, it starts to grow things.
Yeah.
So, in your houses, and for instance, they cut a 12-inch hole through a structural land beam and ran their supply air through it in a joist cavity with sheetrock on the ceiling in the basement and then subfloor for the second floor. And that was what they were using as their trunk line. And it's scary. I mean, it's scary to think, who was in the house, is the growth that's in this house, is it harmful to my breathing? Is it harmful to your kids that are in there? I mean, those are all things that you want to worry about. And I'm not trying to put scare tactics into things, but
there's a right and a wrong way to do things. Yeah,
right.
Absolutely so, my man. And, we were happy to help and come up with an idea to make sure your house was right and make sure that it was airtight and, susceptible to able to, have your remodel done correctly for you.
Yeah, and we're hitting the tail end of it now.
That's good. I was fixing to ask. No doubt.
So if you're listening, you're invited to his welcome party.
Yeah.
It's coming up soon.
Yeah.
We'll be there.
There will need to be many libations.
Because it is beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
It is really cool.
Yeah, we're excited about it.
I am too. It's cool.
It'll be nice to it'll be nice to have my wife enjoy her home.
Yes.
So
it's important.
We need
happy
that
wife,
in life.
happy life.
Yes. So it'll just be nice to we just I think we kind of feel like because we're in the midst of it right now that it feels like we bit off more than we could chew.
Absolutely.
But I think looking back on it, we'll be like, I'm just glad that we knocked it all out at once.
Yeah.
Heck yes.
So
because you can enjoy it. I mean, things don't last forever. Everything needs a touch of work here and there, but getting things done at the same time, at least you can relax for a little bit.
Yeah.
Or hopefully, relax.
Do you think y'all be done by the holidays?
Oh, yeah.
And having in-laws and everybody in?
Well, I mean, some of them are already here.
Right. So they don't have to try.
Yeah, that's right. They don't have to go that far. But most of our family lives in town.
That's
Good.
nice.
So,
awesome.
Yeah. One of the big motivations for us is we actually went to a family reunion in Louisiana this past year. Mm-hmm. And we left going, we'd really like to be able to host that on our property.
Yeah.
But we also kind of walked away with the honest feeling like we really have a lot of work to do before we're ready to have that many people come out and enjoy the property like we would like them to.
Sure.
And so that
posted listeners. It's okay.
Yeah. But that's what we chose. We chose a project.
Mm-hmm.
But I enjoy projects, so it's
no doubt.
Yeah.
And we have a little home. I mean, our first house, it's a project house too. It's something we're going to put a little time, a little investment into. And, it's never fun, tearing into something that was working before and making it new. But, the end result is always...
You love it. You love the demolition part.
I love demo.
He's a demo guy.
I am rather talented at it.
He's a wrecking ball.
Well, we got to do some together.
Yeah.
We ripped some ceiling down, bro.
It was nice, dude. All that wood on the wall, just be able to...
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it was
gym and therapy.
The present I didn't want to unwrap.
Right.
But it was still fun to do it.
No doubt. I'm just glad. I mean, I'm glad it was fixable.
Yeah.
Everything's fixable. It just depends on how much time you're able to put into thought and planning it out for sure. Mm-hmm. There's an idea out there.
Yeah.
For sure. They can come up with it.
Well, is there anything we haven't covered yet that you guys wanted to make sure we talked about?
I think we're pretty much covered it all.
All right, good. Because if so, it's going to be time for the Final Four. Are you guys familiar with the Final Four?
No, sir.
Fantastic. Even better. That means that you're going to be hit with the fresh question and you're going to have the fresh answer right on your mind. These are the 4 questions that we ask all our guests.
Nice.
And so because there's 2 of you, you're going to be expected to answer them individually.
Nice.
I would separate you to see if you guys got the same, we could do a fun newlywed game.
Game?
That could be kind of fun.
Oh gosh.
But we won't do that.
Next time.
Next time. All right.
There you go.
So first question. What is the one tool you won't leave the home without? So here's kind of what we were thinking when we asked this question. I called Jehu on the phone. Jehu, I got a problem. I need you to come over right away and help me out. I don't tell you what the problem is, but you're going out the door. I got to go help Craig. I want to make sure I got that tool in the truck. So
a big tool for me is my truck. So I have all of my tools on my truck. But I mean, that's kind of vague. But
that's a good cheater answer right there.
It's a very good cheater answer. So I don't know. I mean,
and you know what stinks about that? Because she can't use that now.
Nice.
Well, if you were asking for me, I would say business cards.
Oh,
because I'm that side. Can I go that way?
Or your cell phone.
Or for you,
even your phone is a very important tool in technology nowadays.
The cell phone is our number one answer by far.
Yeah, right.
Internet's very important. I mean, it solves a lot of problems and gives you a lot of answers, whether you trust those answers or not.
Yeah.
It's out there for you. It's a tool, no doubt.
Yeah.
But I mean, you try to give a general answer for that. I mean, it's good to ask questions when you're in those situations. What's going on? What's happening? That way you kind of know what to bring.
Yeah.
Right.
Words, for sure. Getting some insight.
Yeah. All right. So question number 2. What is a job you have walked away from? Now, people take this question a couple different ways. Mm-hmm. So it could be a profession that you walked away from, or the way we originally intended is dishwasher broke. I tried to fix it, messed it up even worse. I had to call the repairman.
Gotcha.
So
my garage door.
Ooh.
Oh,
yep.
yes.
What happened?
Shout out Justin Robin Hodges.
Oh,
yep.
Okay.
So shout out the Woodlands Garage Door. They came in and they fixed me up. But when my door was installed, I'm the first homeowner of my house. When it was installed, they kind of just shot some self-tapping screws into this metal, and I think they stripped it out.
Okay.
So with the weight of my door being pulled up, it ripped that arm out of that metal multiple times. So I've tried to fix it multiple times, and eventually it just got to the point where the metal was bent and contorted in ways that had to have somebody else come fix it. So
how long did it take him to fix it?
It was probably an hour and a half, 2 hours max.
That's the part that's frustrating me. It's like, oh, you fixed it so fast.
I know. I mean, and I probably had a little bit to do with it. I insulated the door, made it a little bit too heavy.
Okay.
But, they taught me. They taught me something that I didn't think of. So
Right.
Nice. All right, Jojo, what you got? Are you going to piggyback on the garage door, or you got something else?
Well, on the other half of the coin, I left bartending for teaching.
Okay.
Yep.
So there you go.
Yeah.
'Cause bartending was awesome and everything, but it was a what if with money, and then it wasn't feeding my soul.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
I felt like I had a purpose, and that getting people drunk was not it.
Sure.
So I traded booze for books.
There you go.
And now I help kids, and I feel like that's where God has placed my heart. So that's where I'm gonna grow.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right. Question number 3. You guys ready?
We're ready.
Yeah?
Drum roll, please.
How do you guys wind down at the end of a long day?
That's a good question.
Netflix and chill.
Oh, man.
Our dogs. Our dogs
Play with our dogs.
Okay.
Yeah. Take them on a walk.
What kind of dogs we rocking here?
So we got 3. We got a min pin mix of some sort, and then a rat terrier mix of some sort, and then we have a boxer mix.
Okay.
So big, little, small, big, medium, small.
What names? Come on.
Rocco, Pixie, and Arrow.
Love it.
Yes, sir. So, just that, a glass of wine every now and then, sitting outside on our swing bed, out on our back porch, or, depending upon the season, a fire pit in the backyard, just things like that, sitting there talking with each other, depressing from the day.
Bounce ideas off each other.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's nice. Yeah.
All right. So you got Netflix and chill. What's got your attention these days?
Well, it was Amazon Prime and Chill these days.
Oh, okay.
It was called The Boys.
Okay. Was that the superhero one?
It is.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, so good. So Arrow is Green Arrow.
Right.
For our newest dog. He got me into the superhero world.
Okay.
Yes. So we just watched that. It was really good.
Nice.
We like
movie.
dark,
Good show.
morbid stuff.
I'm trying to remember who the guy is that's starring in The Boys. He's an actor I really like, though.
What character does he play?
I actually haven't watched the show, but I've just seen the previews for it.
It is so good.
But he was like in Lord of the Rings. He also was in one of those Lonesome Dove series. What's his name? It's not important.
Yeah.
Good show.
Yeah.
Tell us on Facebook or Instagram.
That's right. We'll put a quiz up. Who was this guy?
Exactly.
This guy.
Yeah.
But not Twitter. It's okay.
That's right. We'll put it there, but like
you can put it there, but we're not going to look.
We're not going to look. Yeah. All right. Last question. What is one of the best pieces of wisdom or advice you have ever received?
Okay. So I had a spiritual grandfather of, the sorts back in Tennessee, and I used to meet up with him in my younger days. And he told me one thing that'll always stick with me, and I'm pretty sure she probably already knows what I'm going to say. He says, no matter what you do, whether you're flipping hamburgers or bagging groceries, he says, you be the best hamburger flipper or bagger that there is. It doesn't matter. So putting your all into everything.
Yeah.
That's one thing. It's stuck with me. That was probably 15 years ago or more.
Yeah.
And I still remember like it was yesterday.
That's awesome.
He's no longer with us, but he's a great man. Great man.
Are you familiar with the and I think it's Abraham Lincoln, the Abe Lincoln quote that's similar to that? Whatever you are, be a good one.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
That's a good.
Yeah.
I like that too. Just being a good person, man. There's not enough of them in this world. There really isn't, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm going to piggyback off of. Is just like I'm a big believer in whatever you put out in the universe, you'll receive back.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of been our brand, and really it's been going very well.
Sure.
And we felt blessed to have that opportunity, because I don't know, it's good. It's awesome to see him like come into his own best version of himself. Because I felt like at other companies and stuff, like he wasn't serving his full purpose, and me bartending, I'm not serving my full purpose.
Right.
But I finally feel like we're at a place in our life where like,
this is where we're
meant to be. Like we finally found the starting line, and now we're off.
It's an incredible groove to hit for sure.
Yeah.
No doubt.
100%.
And, we're faith living people. We believe in God and stuff. And, God's taking care of us. He takes care of those who honor
work hard,
him, and do what's right by him. So
that's awesome.
We definitely want to be those people.
Yeah. Living it out.
Amen, brother.
Yeah. All right. So the secret last question that's not, I mean, there's 5 questions. That doesn't have the same ring to it.
It's still an alliteration. Well, no, it wouldn't be an alliteration.
But if people want to get a hold of you, how do they find you?
Okay. You want to handle this one, babe, or you want me to?
I got you. Let's go.
That was like a Sonny and Cher moment there.
Yeah.
I got you, babe.
I got you, babe. You can go to Facebook and look up Affordable Air Repair, or our URL is facebook.com/affordable service guys. Our email is affordableserviceguys@gmail.com. Our website is affordableairrepairs.com, and our phone number, I'm going to give you a second. Go ahead, get your pencil, get your pen. No, really. Okay, it's 2019. Get out your phone.
That's right.
Okay. 936-446-9329.
That's it. That's all the good stuff.
And you guys are on Facebook, Instagram.
Facebook, Nextdoor, Instagram, we're working on getting set up on.
We'll link it to our Facebook. So you got to go check that out to find our Instagram.
Okay.
There you go.
There you go.
Give you a little homework.
We'll link all that stuff up in the show notes for you guys as well.
Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Anyway, reach out to me. Anytime you call that number, you're speaking to the owner of the company. So I'd love to hear how we can help and, put our knowledge towards making you comfortable in your business place or your home.
Fantastic. Thank you guys for being with us tonight.
Thank you.
It's been an awesome episode.
Yes, sir.
All right, everybody. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button and check in with us every Tuesday for new episodes of The Homeowner Show. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week.